This video provides brief information about the bolt-action rifles used by the United Kingdom Army in combat during World War I. The Lee Metford MLM was a bolt-action service rifle adopted by the British Army in 1888 and represents a crucial transitional step in the development of modern military small arms. It was intended to replace the single-shot Martini-Henry rifle and marked Britain's full entry into the era of repeating magazine-fed infantry weapons. The name Lee Metford comes from its two principal designers, James Paris Lee, who developed the bolt and magazine system, and William Ellis Metford, who designed the distinctive rifling of the barrel. One of the most important features of the Lee Metford was its magazine system. It used a detachable box magazine originally holding 8 rounds and later standardized to 10 rounds, giving British soldiers a significantly higher rate of fire than many contemporary rifles. In practice, the magazine was usually kept in the rifle and loaded with loose cartridges, as charger loading had not yet been introduced. The bolt action was notably smooth and fast, qualities that later became hallmarks of the Lee series rifles and contributed to their long-term success. The rifle was chambered for the .303 British cartridge. Early versions of this ammunition were loaded with black powder, which worked very well with Metford's rifling. The Metford barrel featured shallow, rounded rifling grooves designed to reduce fouling and improve accuracy when firing soft, jacketed bullets propelled by black powder. With this ammunition, the Lee Metford demonstrated excellent accuracy for its time. However, when the British Army adopted smokeless cordite propellant in the early 1890s, the Metford rifling proved unsuitable as the higher temperatures and pressures caused rapid barrel wear. In terms of physical characteristics, the Lee Metford had an overall length of approximately 1,260 millimeters, with a barrel length of about 770 millimeters. Its weight was around 4.1 kilograms, making it comparable to other full-length service rifles of the period. The rifle featured a wooden stock with a long forend and iron fittings, as well as open iron sights with a graduated rear sight designed for long-range volley fire. The effective combat range was typically considered to be between 400 and 600 meters, although the rifle could fire accurately at greater distances under ideal conditions. The Lee Metford saw service mainly in the late 19th century, including in colonial conflicts across Africa and India. It provided British infantry with a substantial advantage in rate of fire and sustained shooting capability over opponents armed with older or single-shot weapons. Despite these strengths, its service life was relatively short, as the transition to smokeless powder ammunition made a redesign necessary. Ultimately, the Lee Metford was quickly superseded by the Lee Enfield, which replaced the Metford barrel with a stronger Enfield pattern rifling better suited to cordite ammunition. Nevertheless, the Lee Metford occupies an important place in military history as a pioneering magazine rifle. It laid the technical and tactical foundations for the famous Lee Enfield series, which would go on to serve the British Empire and Commonwealth forces for more than half a century. The Lee Enfield Mk I was the first standard service rifle of the British Army to combine James Paris Lee's bolt-action system with Enfield rifling, marking a major step in the evolution of modern military rifles. Officially adopted in 1895 as the magazine Lee Enfield, it was developed to replace the earlier Lee Metford rifle, which had proven unsuitable for use with the new smokeless cordite propellant. The Enfield rifling used in the Mk I was deeper and more durable, allowing the rifle to withstand higher pressures and erosion caused by cordite ammunition. This change made the Lee Enfield Mk I far more reliable and long-lasting in military service. The rifle was chambered for the .303 British cartridge, a rimmed, smokeless powder round that became the standard British service ammunition for more than half a century. It used a bolt-action mechanism with rear locking lugs, which allowed for a very smooth and fast bolt operation.
Although rear-locking lugs were not as strong as front-locking systems, they enabled rapid cycling, contributing to the famously high rate of fire achieved by trained British soldiers. The Lee Enfield Mk I fed from a detachable box magazine holding 10 rounds, though in practice the magazine was usually left in place and reloaded using 5-round stripper clips or loose rounds. In terms of construction, the Lee Enfield Mk I featured a long rifle configuration with a full-length wooden stock extending nearly to the muzzle, providing protection for the barrel and a steady grip. The rifle was equipped with open iron sights, typically a barleycorn front sight and a rear sight graduated for long-range volley fire, reflecting late 19th century infantry doctrine. Early Mark I rifles also included fittings for a long sword bayonet, allowing the rifle to function effectively in close combat. The Lee Enfield Mk I had an overall length of approximately 1,260 mm, a barrel length of about 770 mm, and a weight of roughly 4.2 kilograms unloaded. The muzzle velocity of the .303 British cartridge was around 610 meters per second, providing effective engagement ranges of over 500 meters for individual fire and much farther for massed volley fire. The practical rate of fire, thanks to the smooth bolt action and large magazine, was significantly higher than many contemporary bolt-action rifles, often exceeding 20 aimed rounds per minute in trained hands. Historically, the Lee Enfield Mk I saw service throughout the British Empire, including in colonial conflicts and the Second Boer War, 1899 to 1902. Combat experience during this war revealed both strengths and weaknesses, leading to further refinements and eventually to the development of the short magazine Lee Enfield series. Despite being an early model, the Mk I laid the foundation for one of the most famous and successful military families in history. Its combination of reliability, rapid fire capability, and effective ammunition made it a significant milestone in infantry weapon development and an important subject for historical and technical study in a seminar context.
The Lee Enfield Mk II was a British bolt-action service rifle adopted in the late 19th century as an improved version of the earlier Lee Enfield Mk I. It represented an important transitional stage in the development of British military small arms, combining James Paris Lee's advanced magazine and bolt system with refinements based on early service experience. The rifle was introduced during a period when the British Army was modernizing its infantry weapons to meet the demands of colonial warfare and potential large-scale European conflicts. The Lee Enfield Mk II was chambered for the .303 British 7.7 by 56 mm R cartridge, which was the standard British military round of the era. One of its most distinctive features was the detachable 10-round box magazine, a significant advantage over many contemporary rifles that typically held only 5 rounds. Although the magazine was detachable, it was usually kept in the rifle and reloaded using loose cartridges or chargers in later practice. The rifle had an overall length of approximately 1,260 millimeters, with a barrel length of about 770 millimeters, providing a good balance between accuracy and handling. Its weight was roughly 4.0 to 4.2 kilograms, reflecting its solid steel construction and full-length wooden stock. Mechanically, the Lee Enfield Mk II used a rear-locking bolt system with a smooth and fast bolt throw, allowing trained soldiers to achieve a high practical rate of fire. Compared to the Mk I, the Mk II incorporated minor mechanical simplifications and improvements in the sights and small components, increasing reliability and ease of maintenance. The iron sights were graduated for long-range fire, consistent with late 19th century infantry doctrine, which emphasized volley fire at extended distances. In service, the Lee Enfield Mk II earned a reputation for reliability, durability, and rapid fire capability, even under harsh environmental conditions such as dust, heat, and humidity common in many parts of the British Empire.
Its effective firing range was around 500 to 600 meters, with good accuracy for a standard infantry rifle of its time. These characteristics helped shape British marksmanship training and laid the foundation for the famous rapid-fire techniques later associated with the Lee-Enfield family. In conclusion, the Lee-Enfield Mk II holds an important place in military history as a key evolutionary step leading to the later and more famous SMLE rifles. Its combination of a high-capacity magazine, smooth bolt action, and dependable performance made it one of the most advanced service rifles of its generation. For a seminar presentation, the Lee-Enfield Mk II serves as an excellent example of how British infantry weapons evolved at the turn of the 20th century to emphasize speed, firepower, and reliability.
The Lee-Enfield Mk III, officially known as the Short Magazine Lee-Enfield Mk III, SMLE Mk III, was one of the most important and widely used military rifles of the early 20th century and became the standard service rifle of the British Army in 1907. It was developed as an improved version of the earlier Lee-Enfield Mk I and Mk II rifles, incorporating battlefield experience and technical refinements to create a reliable, fast-firing, and soldier-friendly weapon. The Mk III is most closely associated with the First World War, during which it equipped British and Commonwealth infantry on almost every front. The Lee-Enfield Mk III is a bolt-action rifle featuring a rear-locking bolt system, which allowed for a very smooth and rapid bolt operation. This design enabled a higher practical rate of fire compared to many contemporary rifles. One of its most distinctive characteristics is its fixed 10-round magazine, which was typically reloaded using 5-round stripper clips. This large magazine capacity, combined with fast bolt manipulation, allowed trained soldiers to deliver an exceptionally high volume of accurate fire, famously demonstrated in the mad-minute firing drills of the British Army. The rifle is chambered for the .303 British cartridge, a powerful rimmed round known for its effective stopping power and stable ballistic performance at long range. The barrel length is approximately 640 millimeters, while the overall length of the rifle is about 1.13 meters. The unloaded weight of the Lee-Enfield Mk III is around 3.9 to 4.0 kilograms, making it relatively manageable for infantry use. Its effective firing range is generally considered to be about 500 meters, although skilled marksmen could engage targets at greater distances. A notable technical feature of the Mk III is its advanced open sight system, which included a finely adjustable rear sight designed for long-range shooting. Early production versions were also equipped with a volley sight system, allowing groups of soldiers to fire collectively at distant targets beyond normal visual range. However, during the First World War, the need for faster and simpler mass production led to the introduction of the Mk III Star variant in 1916, in which certain non-essential features, such as the volley sights, were removed while the core performance and reliability of the rifle were preserved. Throughout the First World War, the Lee-Enfield Mk III proved exceptionally reliable in harsh conditions, including mud, dust, and extreme climates. It served with distinction on the Western Front, in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. Even after the war, the rifle remained in service for many years and was used by numerous countries within and outside the British Empire, reflecting its durable design and long service life. In conclusion, the Lee-Enfield Mk III stands as one of the most successful bolt-action military rifles in history. Its combination of a 10-round magazine, rapid bolt action, effective .303 British cartridge, and robust construction made it a formidable infantry weapon of its time. These characteristics ensured its lasting reputation as a highly efficient and dependable service rifle, well suited for the demands of early 20th century warfare.
The Lee Metford Mk II was a British bolt-action service rifle adopted in the late 19th century and represents an important transitional stage in the development of modern military firearms. Officially designated the Magazine Lee Metford Rifle, Mark II, it combined the rear-locking bolt system designed by James Paris Lee with the distinctive rifling system developed by William Ellis Metford. This rifle was one of the first standard-issue military weapons to feature a detachable box magazine and rapid bolt operation, giving British infantry a significant advantage in rate of fire over many contemporary single-shot or tube-fed rifles. The Lee Metford rifle was first introduced in 1888, and the Mk II variant, adopted in 1892, incorporated several mechanical and structural improvements over the earlier Mk I model. These improvements included a strengthened bolt head, a refined magazine system, and minor changes to the stock and sighting arrangement to enhance durability and reliability under field conditions. The Mk II typically used a 10-round detachable box magazine, although doctrine often encouraged loading with 5 rounds at a time to preserve magazines and maintain fire discipline. The rifle was chambered for the .303 British cartridge, originally loaded with black powder. It had a caliber of 7.7 millimeters, a barrel length of approximately 30.2 inches, 767 millimeters, and an overall length of about 49.5 inches, 1,257 millimeters. The unloaded weight of the rifle was approximately 4.2 kilograms. Muzzle velocity averaged around 620 meters per second, and the rifle had an effective aimed range of roughly 600 to 800 meters, depending on sight configuration and ammunition. The iron sights consisted of a fixed front post and a rear sight adjustable for elevation, with additional long-range volley sights fitted on some models. One of the most distinctive features of the Lee Metford Mk II was its Metford rifling, which used shallow, rounded grooves rather than sharp-edged rifling. This design worked exceptionally well with black powder ammunition, as it reduced fouling and improved accuracy over sustained firing. However, when the British Army later adopted smokeless cordite propellant, the Metford rifling proved less durable, wearing out quickly due to higher pressures and temperatures. This limitation ultimately led to the replacement of Metford rifling with the deeper, square-cut Enfield rifling, giving rise to the later Lee Enfield series. In service, the Lee Metford Mk II was issued throughout the British Empire and saw use in numerous colonial campaigns during the 1890s, including operations in Africa and Asia. Although it was largely replaced by Lee Enfield rifles by the early 20th century, some Mk II rifles remained in reserve service, training roles, and colonial units well into the early years of the First World War. In conclusion, the Lee Metford Mk II occupies a crucial place in military firearms history. It marked the British Army's successful transition to magazine-fed bolt-action rifles and laid the mechanical foundation for the highly successful Lee Enfield family. While eventually rendered obsolete by advances in ammunition technology, the Lee Metford Mk II remains an important example of late Victorian military engineering and innovation.
The pattern 1914 Enfield, commonly abbreviated as P14, is a British bolt-action rifle developed during World War I to supplement the Lee Enfield series due to the high demand for reliable service rifles. Initially designed by the Royal Small Arms Factory in Enfield, the P14 was heavily influenced by the American M1917 Enfield design. Production began in 1915, primarily in the United States by the Winchester, Remington, and Eddystone arms companies under contract to meet wartime requirements, as British manufacturing capacity was insufficient. The P14 was chambered for the .303 British cartridge, the standard ammunition of the British Army, and it utilized a 5-round stripper clip feeding system. It featured a robust Mauser-style bolt action, which was stronger and smoother than the Lee Enfield's rear locking bolt, providing enhanced reliability under harsh battlefield conditions. The rifle was fitted with a 26-inch barrel, a full-length wooden stock, and a muzzle velocity of approximately 2,440 feet per second, giving it effective accuracy at ranges up to 600 yards. Its sights included a sliding rear tangent sight adjustable up to 2,000 yards, paired with a fixed blade front sight, making it effective for both individual and volley fire. The P14 weighed around 9 pounds unloaded, slightly heavier than contemporary rifles, which contributed to its stability when firing. Notably, the rifle was praised for its rugged construction, precise machining, and ease of maintenance, which made it reliable in trench warfare conditions. After World War I, many P14 rifles were converted to fire the .30-06 Springfield cartridge for use by the United States as the M1917 rifle, demonstrating its versatile design. Despite being largely superseded by the Lee Enfield series for general British service, the P14 remained in use in limited roles, including training and reserve units throughout the interwar period and even into World War II. Its combination of Mauser-type action, accuracy, and durable construction made it one of the most respected service rifles of its era, representing a key example of early 20th century military small arms engineering.
The Arisaka Type 30 is a bolt-action rifle developed by the Empire of Japan and first introduced in 1897. Its name comes from the 30th year of Emperor Meiji's reign, Meiji 30. The rifle was designed to modernize the Japanese Army's small arms, replacing older, slower, and less reliable rifles with a weapon that was more effective, durable, and easier to maintain. The Type 30 employs a bolt-action mechanism, which allows for relatively fast reloading, simple maintenance, and reliable performance in combat conditions. It features an internal magazine that holds 6 rounds, providing soldiers with the ability to fire multiple shots without frequent reloading. The rifle has an overall length of approximately 1.27 meters and weighs around 3.95 kilograms. It fires the 6.5 by 50 millimeter Arisaka cartridge, which offers good accuracy and effectiveness at medium ranges. The rate of fire is roughly 10 to 15 rounds per minute, and its effective range is estimated to be around 500 meters. Constructed from a combination of metal and wood, the Type 30 is both durable and functional, offering soldiers a balance of reliability and ease of handling. One of the rifle's main advantages is its simplicity and ease of maintenance, allowing soldiers to quickly clean, repair, and operate it in field conditions. However, it also had some limitations. It is relatively long and heavy, making rapid movement or firing on the run somewhat cumbersome. Additionally, the bolt mechanism could become sluggish if exposed to dirt or mud during prolonged use. The Type 30 remained in service with the Japanese Army until the 1930s, when it was gradually replaced by later models, such as the Type 38 and Type 99 rifles. Despite this, it saw widespread use in regional conflicts, including in China and the Korean Peninsula. Its combination of reliability, simple construction, and long service life made it one of the most important rifles in Japanese military history. In summary, the Arisaka Type 30 is a medium-range bolt-action rifle with a 6-round internal magazine designed for accuracy, reliability, and ease of maintenance. Its technical and operational features distinguished it among the contemporary rifles of its time and made it a key weapon in the development of the Imperial Japanese Army. The Arisaka Type 38 rifle, officially adopted by the Imperial Japanese Army in 1905, represents a significant step in early 20th century military small arms development. Designed by Colonel Nariakira Arisaka, the Type 38 was intended to modernize Japan's infantry weapons and replace the earlier Murata rifles. The rifle is chambered for the 6.5 by 50 mm SR Arisaka cartridge, a rimmed bottlenecked round known for its relatively mild recoil and good penetration, which contributed to accurate long-range shooting. The Type 38 employs a bolt-action mechanism featuring a non-rotating claw extractor and a Mauser-style internal box magazine that can hold 5 rounds, loaded via stripper clips. This action was praised for its robustness, reliability, and ease of maintenance under harsh field conditions, which became crucial during Japan's engagements in World War I, the Second Sino-Japanese War, and the early years of World War II. The rifle itself weighs approximately 3.95 kilograms without a bayonet and has an overall length of 1,290 millimeters, with a barrel length of 797 millimeters, offering a balance between stability and maneuverability. Its iron sights consist of a fixed front post and a tangent rear sight adjustable up to 2,500 meters, although practical accuracy was generally effective within 500 meters for standard infantry engagements. The stock is made from hardwood, typically Japanese walnut or similar durable material, providing resilience against environmental stress and ensuring longevity in service. Many Type 38 rifles were also fitted with a socket bayonet, extending their utility in close-quarters combat. Throughout its service life, several variants emerged, including the Type 38 carbine, which offered a shorter barrel for cavalry and support troops, and later wartime simplifications that reduced manufacturing complexity as Japan faced material shortages during World War II. The Type 38 rifle earned a reputation for exceptional reliability, even in harsh climates such as the jungles of Southeast Asia or the frozen landscapes of Manchuria. Soldiers appreciated its manageable recoil, solid construction, and consistent accuracy. However, by the late 1930s and 1940s, the 6.5mm round was considered underpowered compared to contemporary rifles using larger calibers, leading to the adoption of the Type 99 rifle, chambered in 7.7 by 58mm Arisaka, for increased stopping power. Despite this, the Type 38 remained in widespread use throughout the Pacific War, particularly among second-line and reserve units, reflecting the rifle's enduring utility and the logistical challenges of completely replacing it. Overall, the Arisaka Type 38 stands as a hallmark of early 20th century Japanese military engineering, combining simplicity, durability, and precision, which ensured its place in military history as one of the most reliable bolt-action rifles of its era.